Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to show you in my short video how to replace front rotors on 2012 Toyota Sequoia. Same steps applies to Tundra and 2008 and up Toyota Sequoia, maybe even earlier. So just following these steps you'll be able to remove the rotors. It's not that difficult and you can save a lot of money doing it yourself. I'm going to show you outside of the vehicle, make sure it is, so you guys can see that because there is videos that people show how to do things, but they never show the actual vehicle. So as you can see, this is Toyota Sequoia. So let me show you. Well, before removing the rotor, you gotta remove brake pads. Let me show you quickly what needs to happen. So these two pins has to come out. One there. Before you can remove the pins, there is this safety preventive kind of spring type of, and then you can pull the pins out. Then you have another spring at the bottom. Watch my other video for close details. And then you just pulled it out the pads. Use a screwdriver or something to help you. You can use a screwdriver or you can use pretty much anything that works for you to remove the pads. Once it starts coming out, then you can pull it out easily. So the pads are out. One pad is out at least. So next step is to remove the caliper before I can get to the rotors. There is this bolt. Let's see if I can zoom out. There is this bolt. You gotta break it loose, size 12, so you don't break the line, the steel line that goes to brake caliper. Not sure if I'm showing it right now. You can see it. Yeah. Let me show you. Before I do anything, I'm going to remove this bolt completely, size 12. I'm going to remove the bolts that hold the caliper. One at the bottom. I'll start with the one at the bottom. So these are decent sized bolts. And now the one at the top. Let me show you hold the caliper. Okay. So. Okay, doesn't want to come off. A few more steps. Let me show you. That will make your life easier. This line here for the ABS sensor, I'm gonna remove it, and then I'm gonna. There's another bolt. Let's see if I can show you this bolt here. I'm gonna break that bolt loose. I think size 10 to make it easier. So I'm gonna put the bolt temporarily so I can pull this one out. So now this is loose. I can safely put it back or remove it. Remove my caliper. Remove this bolt. And remove my caliper bolt. One thing that's worth mentioning for these caliper bolts, use, not sure if you guys can see or not, use a long socket. And the reason why, because the line, and just be careful around the line, you know what I mean? Take your time, don't try to make it fast, because you can, it's so close that you can actually it's possible to actually damage the line, the brake line. So just take your time. So right there, as you guys can see it, it's off. And I'm gonna set it on my jack. One option is to use a hammer, hitting it on the sides, breaking it loose, or the other, there's a bolts. There's a holes for the bolts, for 2 bolts. There's a thread, you put the bolts in, screw them in, and then it will break. So broke it loose. So as you can see it right there. Unless yours are so been sitting for so long and they got rotted in, then you have a problem. Then you might need to, you know what I mean, use the bolt. But otherwise, yeah, perfect. I wish I knew the size of this, but the same size as this. So if you want to research or then just like that, remove it, and that's it. Not much, very easy. One thing you want to give you guys advice before installing the new one. What I'm going to do, clean this up. And apply a light coat of like synthetic grease or something. These spots, so next time when you have to remove them, you're not going to have problems. So I'm going to clean it off, clean it up. Any rust. I'm using SuperTech multi-purpose, multi-duty complex grease, high temp SuperTech. You can use any other brands. Use high temp and just light coat. Light coat so will prevent rust in it. Season it, and then next time when you have to replace it, you're not gonna have any problems. Just this area, because that's where the rim sits, so you don't want to put too much grease. And I do on all my cars. And I don't have any problems removing, actually on my Camry, I don't have problems removing rims because it's been lubricated with some grease, for the rim sits against the hub. Then you install the new rotor. In my case, my rotor is still good. And actually, one more thing to keep in mind to help you set the caliper: put those bolts back to keep the rotor in place, the lugness. And then next step is to put this thing. If you put in a new brake pads, make sure your pistons on the cylinder are pushed in. And just put those bolts back. Hold it with one hand. It's pretty easy, straightforward. Step is to put the bottom one, and same thing. Now I'm gonna put this bolt here, Don't forget the clip. Don't forget this clip in the back. Put it back. Clicks in. Don't forget the bolt behind and another bolt. Sure if you guys can see or not. Maybe from this angle. Yeah. Yep. Don't forget to put that bolt there, and then the question: how tight are you supposed to torque those bolts? If I'm not mistaken, according to the specs, 73 foot-pound, or just make it tight, don't break it loose. So I will hand tighten and I will double check with the torque wrench. And let me show you what I was talking about earlier about the line, the brake line. As you guys can see, the brake line is very close up there where the socket is, that point, so that's why careful not to damage the line. And then hand tighten or using the torque wrench, do same thing. And then don't forget to do the bottom bolt, hand tighten, or using the torque wrench. So now I have set my Craftsman torque wrench to 73, and I'm gonna just double check. Okay, once everything is back, don't forget to put your wheel, torque it to the specs in your owner's manual, and you're good to go. And that's it. That's it to it. It's pretty easy, straightforward, and you save yourself at least a couple $100. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe.